Srishty, and in this video I'm going to share my NEET journey all the way from taking biology in class 11th to cracking NEET in my first attempt. If you are interested, then keep watching. Let's rewind back to 2020. Class 10th results were out and I scored 95.2%, and after a few months class 11th began online. I chose PCB with CS all being my subjects of interest, and along with school I subscribed to Byju's for a 2-year course for preparation of NEET, which marks the beginning of my NEET journey. In the beginning I was really focused and I used to put a lot of efforts and time in my Byju's classes, motivation for which came from the fees my parents paid for the subscription. Having not done a lot of tuitions in the past, giving 2+ hours just for the classes was a big deal for me. But it became my habit real soon. The school as well as the online classes all being online was a relief, and for some reason I used to love attending online classes. I like the environment, the comfort of home, the time I save from commutation, and the ease of doing classes later in case I missed one. Being a person who likes staying at home, I enjoyed the quarantine era. Everything was in sync, but then came my first unit test in school and I started missing my coaching classes in order to prepare for them. And later I realized I have lagged so much. And I never came back until the beginning of class 12th. Yes, that's the power of backlogs. I tried completing it, but while doing so, I created new backlogs, and soon I realized I was trapped in a vicious cycle of backlogs. I finally completed all the backlogs in the break I got after my 11th exams. We had these exams called as AITS, All India Test Series, which was completely based on the NEET pattern, which was nothing but like mock test. And I wasn't scoring good in them, like not at all, like somewhere in the lines of 450s and 550s, never going above it. And after all this, I learned how to study. Yes, more than a year of preparation, and then I learned how to study the hard way. Thus I started my class 12 the correct way somewhere between the June or July. Now my goals were crystal clear and my class preparation was going really great. The only issue was that our syllabus was running a little late. Completed in Feb, March, and in July we had our exams, and even before that in May, June I had my board exams, so very less time was left. So I got done with my first board exam in December. Yes, I'm from that session who gave 2 board exams, term 1 and term 2, in a single academic year. Once I was done with term 1, I decided I will start revising class 11, or rather I would say I will start completing class 11, because when I was in class 11, I totally messed up. So I began completing class 11 chapter one by one, but it was not easy because I had no notes shuru ke. So I downloaded my Byju's notes, but it was not easy from studying from the digital notes. And I made a mistake there by studying the whole notes instead of just focusing on NCERT. And thus it was taking too long to complete a single chapter because I had my schools going on, my coaching classes going on, and with all that I have to also do class 11. I barely completed 2 chapters from each subject in more than a month. So eventually I stopped and refocused all my energy in class 12 preparation. I was doing great and my syllabus got completed in March. My pre-boards and practical also got completed in March. So I was done with everything. So I sat for planning, and this was my plan. My class 12 syllabus was already completed. So I will complete my class 11th in April since I had no school, and at Byju's also the revision classes of class 11th are starting. So 1 month time for class 11th would be enough. Now from 7th May, I had my board exams. And there were huge gaps between consecutive exams. So I could revise complete class 12 in that period. And thus by the end of the board exam, my complete class 11th and 12th would be completed. I will be left with more than a month, which will be completely dedicated to mock tests. It was a brilliant plan, but then my life struck me hard. My mom fell ill and her blood pressure rose to the sky. My father was out of the town for a month, so it was just me and mama. The complete first week of April, I was running to the hospital 2-3 times a day, cooking, cleaning, missing my classes. Literally, I did everything I could have done to make the things better. And finally, it did get better. But as they say, जब भगवान देता है तो छप्पड़ फाड़ के देता है, जब मुश्किलें भी आती है तो छप्पड़ फाड़ के ही आती हैं. Just the day after the hospital round ended, I started vomiting, and when it happened for 2 consecutive days, we visited the hospital and we found out I had jaundice. Which was not very surprising actually, because there was a lot of cases coming in my area. But it was not easy, as it may seem. My condition grew severe and severe. The level of bilirubin higher and higher, and my body weaker and weaker. In general also my immunity power is very low, and at that time it was at its lowest. So was my condition that I could barely sit continuously for even 5 minutes. I was resenting getting admitted because I had my board exams in like 3 weeks. My mom tried everything to relieve me, but nothing seemed to be working. I didn't touch a single book that month, and I saw my bright future of cracking NEET getting pale as my skin. So we finally decided that I would get admitted. So I went to the hospital, but the doctor said there is no need for getting admitted as my SGPT and SGOT levels were in control. The bilirubin level will drop slowly, and hearing that we were in air, I clearly remember the day. It was 24th April 2022. But I don't remember the date because of what happened in the hospital. I remembered it because of what followed. On our way back to home, my mom and I met an accident. Our scooty dashed to the roadside lamp. It got uprooted and flew meters away. We rolled down the footpath, but by the grace of God, we were okay. I remember I gave my first 2 board exams in chappals because I was not able to wear shoes over my wounded foot. I finally recovered from jaundice at the end of June. It took me like 2 months, and I still had to give one more board exam. And then in 1 month, I had NEET. At this point, I didn't have any idea how I'm going to cover so much of syllabus in such less time. But with the support of my parents, I summoned all the courage I had, gave myself the affirmation that I'm going to crack NEET this time only. And in this light of hope, I sat down planning my each day again. And thereafter, I didn't waste a single minute. I was studying 16-17 hours a day, which for me was huge. My mock test scores were not coming as expected, but the gem of parents I have, they backed me, cheered me. I remember crying at the middle of night over my marks, and then the next minute wiping off my tears and sitting again for the next mock test. That 1 month of consistency paved my way. Guys, don't lose hope. There is still time. If I can do it, you can do it. Just keep working hard. In no mock test, literally no mock test, I crossed 600, but I knew my capabilities. I believed myself, and that's how I scored 643 in my first attempt with normal score. And if you're a parent watching this, your child needs your support no matter what their score is. At this time, the anxiety level are the highest, but trust me, you will crack it. And if by any chance you have sticked till here, then thank you so much for watching.